I am the treasurer of the GHAA, which is the Greater Haverhill Arts Association, and I am here with Susan Kneeland, who has agreed to do some demos for us. So this is her fourth demo, and you are going to love it, and every time someone sees them, they are full of praise for you, my dear. So I am actually going to take the camera, and we're not professional, so bear with us with the camera work, but you're going to love her work. Okay, we're going to switch around here. And she didn't want me to show you her messy room, but mine is messier than hers. So
well, it's just a busy place.
It's a busy place. There's lots of energy.
Lots of stuff going on.
So this is Susan Kneeland of Kneeland Studio of Fine Art. See, after the fourth show, I'm finally getting it right, the fourth demo. Okay, and today you're going to be working on...
So today I'm going to give a demonstration of actually working in reverse. I'm going to do white Prismacolor pencil on black Art Again paper. Okay. It's made by Strathmore. The reason that I like this particular paper is it's got a very smooth finish. It's called vellum.
Vellum
is like velvet. It's like smooth.
Yeah, it does.
And it doesn't matter which side you use. They're both the same.
They're both the same.
So either side, unlike some other papers. It's got a pretty good weight to it, 60 pounds. So it's a little thick, but not too much.
That's not bad.
When I teach white to black, I wait to do it because, white on black. I wait to do it because you have to draw opposite of how you usually do. It really requires the thinking it enforces the draw what you see, not what you think theory. As with the other demonstrations, for those of you who have watched them, I've done a little bit of prep on my paper and on my image. I've taken a magazine image. A magazine image is definitely not usable in any exhibits because it is not considered an original. So this piece out of the magazine is being used simply so that we can have an example. And I wanted to do a portrait again because they can be a little daunting, and I thought it would be a nice challenge to do live. And
absolutely.
Why not? And you'll see, I wrote right on this, general to specific. General to specific is the rule for everything. And as I say all the time, get a mark on the page, it'll be wrong, spend the rest of your time fixing it.
I love that.
I've got a little bit of a sheen on this. I'm going to try to, I really can't put it on my right either, but I'm going to kind of go like this. So what I'm going to do first is I've halved, I don't believe in graphing. Graphing teaches you to count. However, I do need placement. I can't just go willy-nilly on the paper and hope it fits.
And why not?
Oh. We just don't do that, Joan.
Look at all these ribbons.
Don't start today.
That's why not. Don't start.
I'm getting used to you. So when
can be a problem.
Looking at this image, I've, like I say, marked the piece in halves and quarters. I've marked my paper in halves and quarters. And what I have to do is draw... there we go. Draw the light part of the piece. So at the halfway point here, generally speaking, is the top of her head. Now she's got a lot of chaos. I know from using the materials, I can use an eraser to draw those dark shapes.
What do you mean she has chaos? Explain.
Well, chaos would be, here's the main mark of her hair. Oh, that's going to be really dark. So all of this are the nuances. If I start right off the bat with those, then I'm not obeying the hard, fast rule of general to specific. So I don't want to get caught up in that. The tools that I'll be using besides the Prismacolor white will be the Tough Stuff eraser stick, which has replaceable erasers inside. You have the handle. You can get the erasers. You can flip them. I want a nice sharp edge. I'll also be using a kneaded eraser. You probably saw me use this in the last one on the charcoal. Rubber, and I just kind of keep rolling that around. That'll soften some of my marks. However, one of the things that you need to know about the Prismacolor pencils is they are really creamy and juicy feeling. They like working with butter. However, once you get a mark on a page, it does not want to leave. I was just
going to say, they're not erasable. So
that's right. They're really not. Yeah. And so when I want to draw light, I don't hold it here. I'll go back up on my pencil because I can't have it, so I can't control it. But if I back it up enough, it will help me stay very, very general.
Okay, so I tell my students it's drawing versus sketching. Is that the same? When you're on the point, you're drawing. When you're on the side like that, you're sketching.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. You could absolutely use that. So what I'm going to do is look at where she isn't, because I can't draw this. I need to draw that. So I'm just going to kind of come in like this. I will refine these marks afterwards.
There she goes again, everyone scribbling, like and then she ends up with these masterpieces.
Going right down to the halfway, around the halfway, I see that her head goes in. It goes in, generally speaking, to the quarter, and it's just below the half, quarter, below the half. So generally speaking, my background is around here. I have her shoulder coming off here. And part of her shoulder is dark, so I can draw. I always squint through my eyelash and say, why do I see the different values? Because this...
It's that eyelashes. sorry. I know I had Fruit Loops for breakfast. I'll behave.
When I'm drawing, I just want to squint, and it separates my values. So I'm just getting this on. I'm doing it very lightly because it's probably going to be in the wrong place. And I'm going to want to move it. And like I said, yeah.
Question. Can you, I have taken my blending stomps and blended on those because they are creamy and stuff. Have you ever tried it?
I haven't.
Ah.
I do when I use white pastel, white chocolate, charcoal. White chocolate.
No lunch?
No lunch today.
I have.
This will blend well with a stomp. But I want total control of my pencil here. I want to know where this dent is. It's kind of sitting in somewhere around here. I'm not worried about my pencil marks right yet. I'll concern myself with that after. So what I'm concerning myself with is how to get rid of this background and leave just room for her hair. Like I say, the direction of the marks is not that important right yet. It will be. But I've got to find a space where she's coming in. I do want to mark where her hand goes, generally speaking. It's coming off about that close to the center. The thumb goes to the center. So I want to say, okay, the thumb's here. It's at the height just above the quarter, so I feel I'm okay there. I'm just going to insinuate it for myself. The wrist is a little higher than I said. Somewhere here, generally speaking. The very top finger is right below this, and so we'll have a bit of an enlargement because the paper's larger. The top of the thumb seems to be right about there, generally speaking, and I could just kind of do, I don't want to draw it, I just want to get an idea of where this is sitting. So generally speaking, it's sitting around here. This comes on right at the quarter, and this bends lower than that. So if this bend is up here, could get my quarters more even, then this bend will be a little lower and allow me a little bit more space here. I know that this is light, so for now, I'm just going to, generally speaking, color it in. Same mark making, nothing intense yet, nothing perfect. Most likely, this will be off, and I'm going to want to fix it. I noticed that my dark in here is not as dark as this. If we used a numeric system to say the darkest dark is a 10 and the lightest dark is a 1, then this is not as dark as that. If this is a 10, this is probably about a 6. So I know I'm safe if I get a little pencil mark on here. And I'm just going to kind of hint a little bit, again, not too much. At its widest, it's there. So I think I'm all right there. I know that her face is coming off of it, and it's coming off, I think, right about, yeah. See if I do this straight mark, it's right near that. So I kind of go like this, which makes sense because there's my suggestion of her finger. Her cheekbone is around the halfway, and this much further out than that. So you'll kind of eyeball it, because I don't know yet. I'm saying generally speaking there. Her forehead is below the quarter, so I kind of go below the quarter, and this far out from the cheek. Barely out. So somewhere, let's do that again. somewhere around here. Again, generally speaking, the forehead comes over like this at its very top. Look at my quarters are uneven. I'm kind of careless with that, but when I teach, I'm not as careless.
I was just going to say, we wouldn't know if you didn't. Who would know that?
Yeah, a little reckless. I want to know where this is. So I'm looking for these marks to get an idea where she is. Somewhere around here and halfway through this would be that. So it kind of gets me over here. When I'm squinting through my eyelashes, I can see like, all right, this will connect. The bottom of the ear is above the half, somewhere around here probably. And so I start to look and go, all right, this seems pretty good. If I come off what I see of the ear at this height, then it's going to head over to the thumb. And for now, I should have a general idea where she fits on the page. I feel okay about it. It will change and progress. So now that I have an idea where she is, I'm going to get rid of some more of the light spaces on the page because it will help me place things. For example, I notice how close this dark is to her hand. So it means I have to color this so I can see the dark. Up we go. Again, I've got that chaos. I want to watch out for it because this is thicker chaos than this. Mm-hmm. So I want to allow for it because I might have trouble getting the dark back. The other place that's close is near her forehead. The dark is very close here. So I'm going to consider that the hair is around here. And then it's got all sorts of stuff going on. So I'm going to skip a few places where I might bring it out. And I'm going to do a very, very light coloring here. Again, this is more for my placement than for anything else, for any other reason. I just need to know where I'm going. So I give myself little indicators of where I'm heading. I'm kind of going around that. It really won't be in the right place, but it's there so that I can finagle it and know where I am. See those old words, finagle?
I was going to say, I recognize finagle.
So now I'm going to want to go on. Typically they say that the eyes are halfway down the skull. Well, a lot of times people draw them high in the forehead because they don't consider the rest of the skull. Or they chop off the head and give them no room for their brain. Take into account that she's got a pretty, don't go there, pretty big mass of hair. Once I lock something in, that's going to be my truth for the piece. I also want to nab my glasses over here. Okay. So, here we go, Joni. So, generally speaking, I've got her where I need her to be able to see. Everything will change. So, I'm going to go in here, and I think that the first thing that I will do is kind of talk about this little forehead shape. So, it's not a 10 in darkness. That would be the darkest dark. It's a little light. I seem to have a shape like this, so I'm going to kind of come over like that. I don't trust any of the marks that I made, but this is where I begin to lock things in. So if it's light, I'm going to color it so that I can begin to see where I am. An eyebrow is here. Well, I can't draw the eyebrow because I have to use the black of the paper. So I just want to make sure where the eyebrow goes in. It's kind of in line with this. I'd say really, is it in line with the edge of the face? Yeah, pretty darn close to this. So I can say her eyebrow goes in about that far. That being said, I'm working on this, get this a little light. And when I squint through my eyelashes, I hope you can see this okay, Joni.
I can.
I start to get a little more specific and say, all right, why do I see the eyebrow? Well, generally speaking, it seems to be something like this. So I'm drawing this space that's in here. And I notice that it's very skinny. And right now, all I'm doing is kind of going down the nose. All of these lights and darks are going to change. But I don't want to, again, I don't want to push hard yet until I decide things are definitely where they belong. So looking at this eye and looking at this shape, I think like, all right, that's okay. This comes down and it pops in. So it comes down like this. It pops in about there. I have a little room on the side where I said it was already going in. And now I'm just going to lock in that eye. So the corner of the eye lines up with the corner of this eyebrow. So I'm going to say it's, generally speaking, shaped like this. I see the iris of the eye because it is darker. Come on in like this. And I just want to kind of lock a few things in. Will they be wrong? Yes. I'll be spending my rest of the time fixing it. So I just want to get this in here so that I know where I am. I'm drawing this light. And look at how this light is lighter than that. So if I use that as a cue, I'll know where this eye is being placed better. So I'm going to strengthen that value. Value is light, medium, and dark. It takes 3 values to get 3 dimensions on a piece of artwork. So I feel good here. I already noticed I can increase my eyebrow size. That's where this eraser stick comes in handy. I want to make it just a little bit bigger. And see, it'll erase because I went light. Any darker and I don't have it. So I'm going to change to it. I've got a bunch of these ready, tip-wise, or I thought I did. I want to go in and keep my tip sharp. I'm going to go right in here and start talking about, I said tip sharp.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I told you my hearing's going. I didn't hear that.
Sharp. I'm turning it sideways. And I say, well, I see that little triangle in here because this is lighter. And I see this light take a turn. It's about that close to the edge of the face. And then what happens? Well, that's nice and light. And then I've got this swoopy shape. Sometimes I'll say to the students, it's almost like a Nike symbol. I'm going to come in like this, you know. Any symbol you can use to take your brain into seeing instead of thinking is good. Actually, the eye, as much as I think it's dark, it's not a 10 in darkness, as I described earlier. So I'm going to color it a little bit. And I'm going to leave the little pupil. So I'm going to say that, like, okay, we've got this little reflection in there that doesn't hit this dark. A little bit like that. If something's darker, it means I have to go lighter around it. And now I'm just going to come in like this. I'm going to push this around a bit. I'm going to allow for this, which vanishes, this light vanishes right into that. So I'm going to kind of take that back a bit. Oh, I get a terrible shine in here. I'm sorry to get it closer to me, Joni.
No, that's okay. Do your thing, baby. As long as you don't mind me hovering.
I love your hover. Now that's just odd.
That's quite all right.
Bring some of that dark back in because I need to draw this little eyelid. So I noticed that I need that black line, that little tiny black line, the eyelid line, and it goes really close to the eyebrow. So that means I color the space and leave the line. Watch. I've got this. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put this right here. And that's going to make that little line.
How long did it take you to feel comfortable thinking backwards? Because you got to really think in reverse here.
I was born thinking backwards.
I meant artistically speaking.
Oh. Not long because, again, it's drawing what you see. So it was kind of easy.
Yeah.
Once in a while I'd get a little lost when I was new to it, but I've been doing it quite a while now, the reverse drawing. What I like to use it for is once a student really understands value, start working on this. I feel like I've putted with this eye enough and I don't want to do too much more on it, so I'm going to move up and now I can say, okay, first of all, there's a few little eyebrow hairs I can put in. I'm going to come down around here. Is this all light? Yes, it is. How light is it? Well, I haven't decided to tell you yet. So I'm going to come in like this.
Oh, folks, he's in a bratty mood today. Watch out.
Oh, sorry. And then I see that this the eyelash mark cuts right through this, just like that. And then I feel like, okay, I'm probably pretty good on that eye. Again, I want to say that the eyelashes I see kind of like this. And I want to push in the eye a little bit more, but I really want to push this light here. And then
so when
this
you say
light.
Push, you mean make it whiter?
Pushing right, exactly. Pushing on the pencil more. Thank you, Joni. Yeah.
That's okay, that's okay.
And I feel kind of okay with this, enough to move on. I'm just going to kind of come down here. I know I'm safe coloring out here. And generally speaking, eyes are one eye apart. That doesn't, like I say, that's a general. That's general, but today I'm using a 2/3 portrait. So depending on how a model moves their head, will depend on what we're seeing. A 2/3 portrait is a portrait in which if you broke the face into threes, 2/3 of it are prominent and 1/3 is here. So working on this, I notice when I turn it back around, I need to drop this white of the eye a little more. So I'm gonna, it's a simple fix with my drawing eraser. I just want to get in there. I've got a little dark there that I want to.
And you can do that because you're not putting heavy lines on
That's
there.
exactly right. But even some of my heavy lines can be
You can diminish.
moved around.
Sure.
Correct. Yep. I've got this little shape. I've got this going downhill more. So I want to describe this going downhill a little more. It does hit the eye. But look at how low this is from where I started. Mm-hmm. So it's low.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little deceptive. And then this all seems okay for now. And that makes me move these a little bit. And now I feel as though, like, all right, we could be kind of close.
Nice eye already.
It's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there. I want to remember that it's round. And then I'm just going to come off of this. I want to know where the edge of the nose is. If I go straight up, it's in line with this. So I'm going to make a little slice. I want to know how long it is. Well, now that I've drawn the eye, that's my commitment. I will use it to measure off how other things fit and what size they are. So this to this is the nose. Let's do this. I'm going to go right to the tip of the nose and say that it's a little bit wider than this. And it's telling me the tip of the nose is here. We know that as it goes out, it goes out. Let's get this nice and straight. Here's my corner. It goes out a little further than this. So I feel kind of good saying, all right, this can be colored in. The nose goes out this far. And why do I see the nose? Because of the darks and lights. So if this is a little dark, that means I have to push on this more. So look at how this kind of connects to that. That will tell me where I am. Coming along like this, coming down here, just like that a little bit, squinting. I already told myself where the edge of the nose is, but look, I can't draw this, it's dark. So instead, I'm going to draw the light, the reason I see that. And so far, so good, because I'm ending up near the hand. That's always a good thing.
That's a good sign.
I want to get off the nose because my brain is overcome by intensity. So I want to give it a little break and just come on. I know all of this is light. So I can do a lot of giving my head a little bit of rest. When we work intensely, you can get overwhelmed. I've been teaching 4 hours already this morning, and I've got 3 to go. So my brain is pretty saturated with art. So if you do too much, sometimes it gets a little difficult to see. I want to know if her eyes are an eye apart. Notice how small that one appears than this, and that's due to the 2/3 portrait. I also, when I get back and look at it, look at this like a Nike sign or a crescent moon. I feel kind of okay about it. You notice I'm like hyper-fixated on it because I know it's not quite right. I want to see if it's an eye apart. So this to this, generally speaking, is that to that. That tells me the corner's going to be here. Maybe a little bit further. Let me check that again. This to this. Okay. So it's over a little bit more than what I said. Let me do that again. This. I feel good about it. The second eye is always easier. The top of the eyebrow, if I go straight across, is even with this. So I can say the top's there. Of course, it climbs a hill. This little pointy thing. This has a little point to it too. And I can see this space. So that means I've got to get this a little bit lighter. Because why do I see the shadow around her eye? Well, because this is so light. I'm going to come down. I already told myself where I need to go. Nicely.
You noticed that I refrained from
I was
comment.
waiting. I'm like, she's going to get me.
I was very good about it.
I kind of feel good about putting this in. It's still very general, very guessy, but I'm kind of near the location where I started, so that's always nice. It's always nice to end up where you should when you're drawing. So something like that, generally speaking. I do see the eyebrow a little thicker, a little longer, until it hits the very arch. I'll just bring that back a little bit. I want to get this eye on. So I'm actually going to probably turn it so turning it helps you to see shape and not get hung up on the fact that something's an eye. This corner is here. I do the eye in sections. For example, I see this section. I see a little bit of this. Then I've got the dark of the eyelashes. So coming here, this seems to come across. At its lowest, it's even with that. So I remind myself, don't go any lower than that. This corner's here. This corner is as high as this. So I already know. And this eye is wider than that eye by about that much. So I've done a lot of measuring to make sure I'm where I want to be. So if I already said the corners here, this isn't going to be too difficult because I've got a lot of white over here. It seems to be shaped like this. It seems to go like that. It hits there. It goes like this. And then why do I see it? Well, because this is a little bit lighter. Here I've got a lot like a lost edge. The white of the shine here is about the same as that. And I see this because this is really light. It's hit like this. And then the iris is a little more round on the bottom. Sometimes they get cut off on the bottom, depending on how we're looking. This one did not. And I want to say why I see the white of the eye. Well, there's eyelashes. So I'm going to kind of indicate that that's a little dark. This isn't. And the top of the eye, look at where the white of the eye ends, way over here. So I'm where I should be.
Yeah.
Well, this goes way out to there, the dark. So I've left myself that.
It's a good makeup job.
So yeah, they sure did make her up.
Yeah.
And so then this is slightly colored. Because why do I see the pupil? I see the pupil because this is colored. Does the top get cut off? Yes, it does. Does the pupil have a light in it? Yes, it does. And I have eyelashes that block that off. So I'm coming like this. I'm coming like this. And then I did on this just what I did on the other one. I lost one of my upper lines, so I'll go back and color this out. And I need to get the crease of the eye in, which you can kind of see. I'm going to push on it a little bit more. Okay. A little bit more. And here we go. We know it goes out this far. We know it's dark. We know it's a double line. And by double line, I mean this. This seam's here, that seam's there. This has a dent in. This is here. And light hits an object the most where it turns. Her eyelid is turning the most right there. If I push a little extra light, it will describe that bend. And then this is a little wider than the rest. So I'm going to come like this. And then I'm going to come up with this and decide if my eyebrow needs to go over more. And since my eye's there, look at this.
Yeah.
It's way over here, so I'm going to take it over. Those are the things that you can't see right away, that you have to give time. You know, take your time, go back at. Don't lock it in. So far, she's on like this. Now I want to turn it this way and get some adjustments made. So I really notice that the dark comes down here. And we're showing these afterwards, by the way. So, you know, if you go on the Haverhill site, I'm not sure when they're posting them.
I know they're trying to do them at least once a month, but, you know, you can always get on the website and check it out because we have all kinds of cool stuff going on there. So the website address is www.greaterhaverhill.artassociation.org. Okay, and there's lots of events there. Even during the pandemic, we have cool things going on, like demos with Susan Kneeland.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I notice I have a little bit of an eye difference, so I want to kind of tweak that a bit. And both of the eyes are sitting in a recess. See, now it looks really big. I'm just going to go back in and place this a little more determinedly. It's not always easy to talk while you're demoing, so you can come up like that.
You're actually a very good demo person because you do seem to be able to talk and work at the same time.
It can be difficult.
Sure, sure. Especially when you want white chocolate for breakfast. I didn't have my
It's
chocolate.
actually my favorite chocolate. But it's not chocolate.
It's not chocolate. That's it. You know, it's false advertising. Definitely. Say the word chocolate, my mouth waters, and then you give me this white, waxy-looking stuff. Forget it.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That's not working.
I'm not real thrilled with the look of this eye, but by the time you see this, when it's completed, you'll notice that I'll have tweaked it a lot. Really see the arch here a little wider than what I said. And this, like I say, this technique isn't for the weak. You really have to be able to see what's going on. You know, really understand your medium. So it's really good to have, see how that just bringing that dark up to there kind of fixed her shape.
Sure.
And I don't want to
3D.
Yeah, I don't want to stay in here too long because again, when your brain gets tired of looking at the same thing, you begin to put things in that really aren't there.
I was just going to say that. You start seeing things that are not there.
The edge of this nose is over here. I already determined that the turn is here, but I'm going to do a recheck on that. So this to there is the same as eye to here is this to there, and I'm right where I should be. Yay. I said the corner's here. Why do I see the nostril? Well, because it's dark. So when I start to put this on, I start to refine. Look at under the nostril. It's got that little light. And then I've also got the light out here, which I'm going to need to describe that. Initially, I'm seeing this dark, but not as dark as that. So this demo is probably a little trickier if you're trying to observe it and try it yourself. Be very patient with yourself, okay? And don't take something complex like this. Start with a nice flower. If you get something in the wrong place, you'll be fine.
Nature is very forgiving.
Oh, nature is forgiving.
The other good thing to, a recorded demo is people can stop it. Okay, so they can stop it if, they're not where they need to be. They can play a part that, they're puzzled about. So they'll love this.
And so notice my old, where I thought things were. Notice how they're not there? And that's good because that means I'm drawing what I see and refining things. This eye is going to drive me out of my gourd. I've got to get that bend or I can't move on. Now, here's a cheetah trick. Black pencil.
Oh, definitely.
So suppose I am struggling. Like I am. I'm struggling with that. This eye is long.
This is a black Prisma, not a graphite pencil.
Do the black Prismacolor, but the problem becomes if you do it strong, it does not match the paper. Right. So if you're going to resort to it, I'll show you on here. As soon as I go to use it, you can, I don't know if you can see it on that, but you can tell the difference. And then if you put it on white, even more so. So I don't want to use it for the shadows, but I might want to use it to move a little of this around. I could also take and put some of the eyelashes back. I can refine it a little more. Look, I can even get in and get this a little more refined. This little eyelid that I had erased out. And this would be shadowed a little. So I can take that back.
Nice.
And I'll take this back. This is a lost edge. We really don't see much going on there. I've got some shadow. This is all shadowed.
Okay, so tell people who maybe didn't see your other demos, what is a lost edge?
A lost edge is where, well, let me see if we have, it's when you can't tell the difference where something, one edge runs into another. See where this dark and this dark get to here? They got lost right in here.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm trying to bring over here, a lost edge. I do notice that.
You're duplicating a lost edge.
That's right.
Got it.
That's it. Just draw what you see. Whatever you do, don't think. Save your thinking for other stuff.
Save your thinking for making chocolate chip cookies.
Paying bills. Bringing Joni white chocolate.
No, chocolate.
chocolate.
Oh, she's cruising.
And over we go. As soon as I do that, I see this. And it tells me this eye is probably going to have to shift a bit, which is no problem. It is this much higher, so I'm going to actually move the eye up, which is kind of cool because you get to watch that.
Yeah.
Then I take this iris. I'm going to bring it up with my black pencil, my little cheetah pencil. And the bottom of this is around there, so I'm going to tweak that up and put these in. I'm going to bring this up a little higher, which means this goes up. I notice I'm just kind of knocking out a lot of the light areas. So she's a little tricky. I picked her on purpose because I knew she'd give me some problems. And I really think that seeing an artist do something right is nice. But seeing that an artist also irons out kinks, works out problems, changes things, I think that can be very reassuring. So I never have a problem showing my students
I think it's a
kind of
great
flaw.
idea because, you know, like you said, things, when you first put stuff down on the paper or the canvas, it always needs to be corrected at some point. But diagnosing the area is a big issue, especially to students. So if they can see you diagnosing and what you do to fix it.
And moving things,
yeah, it's a big help.
And now that I've kind of got that a little bit better, I still could raise things up. Because look at the bottom of this eye.
Yeah.
It almost goes to the center of that. So I'm going to raise that up a little more, which means I'm going to raise this up a little more. And pretty soon she should have the eyes that she has. And not be so crooked. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to use a little bit of this, which isn't always my favorite, but I'm going to, just so you know. That tells me, look, the eyebrow can come up, which is nice because, look at, that corner's here, which is fine. But this, now because that I moved the eye, this comes up, as does this. And so again, by going light, it's allowing me the ability to move things around, including raising an entire eye up to where it belongs. I feel a little bit better with that, a little bit better with this. And I'm just going to kind of come in and say, all right, we see this eye because it's a little colored. And I'm kind of okay with that. Let me bring this light up here.
Just so you know, we're about the halfway mark.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to probably stop tweaking the eye for now. I want to get a little bit, they're not matching. I will get there. But I'm going to kind of I'm going to move on just for the sake of the demo. I'm going to come down. All of this is colored. All of this is light, I should say. So I color it in. Look at her cheekbone. There's a little light out here. So I just push a little more. And I've also got some light caught right here. I want to get a little bit of that in. It feeds into this. And that way any tweaking I need is going to start occurring very soon. I find that, like, I really want to get her lip on here. Usually the edge of the mouth goes to the pupil, but where she's turned, it doesn't. Hers is sitting right about here. Now, if that's right, that tells me I need to adjust this nostril, because I said it's out here. Well, look, when I did my move, other things moved. So we just do this. We push this a little bit lighter. We slide the nostril over. Nice and easy. And up we go with some of the light here. And that means I can push this light. So notice that the values are going to change as I go. You know, what looked light in the beginning isn't light enough. We're going to have to keep going. Look at these little hairs coming in like this. A little bit of that. A little bit of this. And this side's much darker. So I'm going to ease up on the pressure. This, even though it seems dark, it isn't as dark as the hair. It's the shadow of the nose. It's kind of doing this. I've got this nice little tip here, a little piece here that's shaped a little bit like that, where the other nostril would be over here, that we can't see. See, that's a lost edge. So I've got this bends. And I'm looking at the distance between this because I want to make sure I'm okay there. I notice that this peak is right beside that. So that means this gets moved over. Why do I see that lip? Because it's dark. So that means I have to put this in, the light, and start to describe the lip. So see the upper lip form, because I'm drawing, I'm not coloring. I can't talk. The upper lip forms.
Good thing you can draw, because you certainly can't talk. You're doing
what
fine.
You think.
Don't worry about it. You are doing marvelous, my dear.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
And I know I'm safe over here, so I just want to get some more colored onto there and start to tweak the shape, because I need to make sure, again, that the mouth is where I want it. The dark I'll probably bring back again. And I eyeballed where I felt the mouth went. I could have measured, but I didn't.
I noticed that. I'm like, okay,
No,
getting a little cocky.
I'm
Here.
getting a little
Stick
cocky,
that mouth on there.
And I do this. I definitely know that I've got a little something going on here. And this finger, now that I have this, is just about where I need it to be.
That's good.
This little piece here needs some refinement. This teardrop shape comes off of this, goes out, and it has a nice catch of light right there. And this is not dark compared to the hair.
Yeah, I like that numeric value that you assigned.
Numeric value is important.
Really a good idea and a good way to explain.
I had to re-explain it to one of the students this week. She just, tell me again.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of saying, okay, if I number my system from 1 to 10, it'll help me a little bit more understanding my values. I kind of just moved her nose deliberately because I felt as though I needed a little less nostril than what I first said. And then this is shadowed. And this has a little bit of this. So a little bit of the black is good. It's...
Yeah,
I have this purist rule, like you shouldn't do it, but in fact, you should do anything that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that's good here. This goes downhill. And this eye, now I can see, can drop and be a little bit smaller. The shadow here.
Nice. Something
going on there. That's definitely dark. This is nice here. All right. Let's come on down. The lip.
The eyes are the window to the soul. Got to get those babies right. That looks good.
That's right.
Yep.
A little more bright here where the light caught. A little less there. And then like I said, I wanted to leave it alone, but I keep going back. Let's get this a little brighter.
Yeah, real artist, a true artist.
Brighter.
Can't leave it alone. We can't.
And then I want to describe why I see the lower lip. Well, I see the lower lip because there's this light here. There's a little extra light outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting under that, which I have not described enough yet for myself. So I'm going to kind of soften that out. I'm going to bring the lip in the way I feel as though it seems to come. A little extra bright here. That should be under that, and it is.
Nice.
Little lines. Maybe a little line under here. Come around a little bit. And then it vanishes. And part of why it vanishes is it hits this. This is under there. This goes like that. This goes like that. And see that? Under here. Here she comes. This to this is the same as I-12 there. So that tells me to pull the face wider right here. And up goes the sweep.
Nice.
A little more room. So those measuring skills are invaluable. I feel like, all right, my neck is pretty high, where I see it, right about the middle of the nose. I feel as though I still haven't captured the grace of the nose, which I go back in and work on. Like I say, doing a demo, I don't expect to get it all. I want to get the general idea for you guys. And then when I go back, I really, really refine them.
Do you ever? Masterpieces.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like her
Well-deserved.
mouth is too low. So I'm going to bring it up a little. See, I didn't measure it.
You are at the 45-minute mark, and the only reason I'm telling you is because I know you haven't had a break all day. So I just want you to know where you're at.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
So
If you want to go, we're certainly open to that.
I want to bring this in. I see this little shape here. And I'm seeing that because this is a little bit lighter, as is this, as is this. And this dark needs to come down. I need to see it more. I feel like, okay, we're all right there. This is pretty dark. This is too long. So it's this, this stuff. Look at the bend to that. This and this line up. So I did not get that nice little bend that it has. So I'm going to try to tweak that in right now. Soften it out a little bit.
All those little things make a big difference in the finished picture. You know, sometimes students think, well, you know, it was mostly right. But it's just enough to throw it off.
Oh, yeah. I want to go up here. I'm going to play with this a little bit so you get an idea of how the hair is going to work. It's going to come in like this. And I'm going to put some gentle suggestions because you can see some lights in her hair. But mostly we see dark hair because I'm going to leave the black of the paper for it. And then we have little strokes. I'm looking at all the little white spaces in here that are defining her hair. And I really want to show you out here more so you can understand how you'd pull that off. I think it's kind of an easy fix on this. I just noticed her shoulder coming out here.
Yeah, in shadow, yep.
It's in line with this, so that tells me I'm still okay. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So now this background comes. And notice I'm really not concerned about my lines of direction right now because I'm going to have to go back and color things in anyways. Some artists leave a lot of lines when they draw little sketchy marks. Sometimes I do. So notice I've got this in. Let's get that where it should be. Ready to get that background in there? Pretty good. But all that fluff, all the little minutia that she's got, I want to work on. The highest part of her forehead is right over this. I want to make sure that I declare that. And then I can come in and start saying, all right, she's got some strands of hair that come across. I'm having a shine issue here. Strands there, strands here. I definitely see that I can use just a little bit. See the pupil, the iris almost flat in there. I'm going to get that better. Told you I'd try to get back in those eyes. And you really see this get closer. And there it is. If this is white, that means the white of the eyes aren't as bright as I said. All right. So over here, I can do one of two things. I can first try to draw the strands with my eraser on a stick. And what's going to happen is some of them will be nice. They'll be light enough. I mean, yeah, light enough. Others will need to be more of the black of the paper. If I start to get the suggestion in of how things are moving, notice that I see the light here because it's on dark. I see the hair here because it's on light. So this hair up here will translate really well if I bring it like this, show you a few strands, and when I get here, color this instead. So, some of those look all right. You know, they're fair. But I probably come in and really push a little bit of this over it. A little bit goes a long way. So I want to kind of take it easy with it. Bring some of this in. And get that nice sweep going. And just by having a couple of different darks, that works nicely. Her hand. The little knuckle is doing one of these jobbies like this. This is definitely light. And the line goes down, but it doesn't stay as light because it has some shadow on it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this down. And then why do I see the next finger? Because of the space between it. So I have to leave it. And the next one's lower. And I should be out here. And I am. So it's that constant checking to make sure you're where you should be. And then why do I see the ring? Well, let me see it kind of because of the darks around it. These are even with each other, so it's like a frown. I'm going to make the frown. And then I'm just going to color up to it really close. And that should show as a ring. And again, I'd tweak more. Like I say, I'm trying to hurry so that, you know, I give you the most that I can in the least amount of time. This is a little like that. This is a little like that. This knuckle, light catches on an object everywhere it turns, so that knuckle's brighter. Why do I see the chin? Well, because it's a little darker than the finger. So I'm going to bring the finger value up a notch, or thumb value, and I want to color here a little brighter, so it really starts to show what's going on here. So, as you can see so far, it's kind of a pretty good interpretation.
Yeah, that's great.
I could get, you know, I will get more specific as it goes along. I'm not sure about the drop of her mouth, but I'm kind of okay with it. Everything I'm kind of okay with, and that's where I want to be, because when I go to refine things, when I'm not demonstrating and I slow down, then I'll start moving things around. This to the nose is the same as eye to out there. Eye to out there is this to the nose, so it tells me I can take the face out just a little more. I've got that piece of ear, but do I see an ear? No, I just see a shape like this. It's not an ear. And since I have that ear now, I can say, all right, that ear has dark underneath it. Like, why do I see it? This is your lost edge. See the shadow? A bit more. Here's her neck coming in. Does this, it does this. And why do I see the edge of her face? Well, because it's got a medium value on it. So that means I push this a little more, and I ease up on that, and I push this a little more. And by push, I mean put pressure on the pencil so that the value becomes lighter. I'm not doing another ring because I don't want to.
I love it.
Too bad.
Too bad. You only get one lady.
That's it. And look at this finger. You would never draw it that way. Look what it is. It's this weird little stubby, oddball shape. It's like if you draw that shape, it's doing this, this, and then it's coming down like that. And I'm just going to put a few of these in. Joni, we're probably getting towards our time.
We are there.
Okay. So I'd throw some of these hairs on. And I do want to get this closer so that you can really understand what's going on here. So I've got these fluffy hairs. I'm just going to come along here. And I want to leave a little room for those. But I want to bring, when I squint, I want to make sure that I'm bringing this in close enough. Because otherwise she's going to look like a big puff head. We don't want a big puff head. I want somebody so pretty.
Yeah, she really is.
And see, it's starting to get refined. I would still, like I say, there's a lot of playing to do on it. I want to calm everything down. I want to calm my darks down a little bit. And I'll just go over them slightly because she looks exhausted. And I'll take this in a little bit. And like I say, I'll be playing with it and be showing you the completion. Because I'm sure, where I did it so fast, I'm sure there's some measuring that I need to do to refine this a little more. And I'm going to knock this eyebrow back a little bit because her eyes look a little too close together to me. So I'm just going to bring that out a little more. Bring this out a little more. And that seems to fix a lot of that issue.
I was just going to say that looks so much nicer.
Thank you.
Nice.
Even a little more could be used here. All right, what do you think?
I think it's awesome, baby.
Okay, and I'll just kind of go put this in. I really want to have that feeling of this hair, you know, being floppy, but not too big. And like I say over here, when I go in to play with it afterwards, I'll be taking some of these back and bringing some of this in so that it appears as for what it is.
This part, yeah, the light is, right?
Yep.
Yep, so you can see it already. That's
Yep,
awesome.
exactly. And I'll be pulling hairs up and messing around with this a little bit. So that you get a little bit more idea of the flow.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It was kind of fun and
Yeah.
a little bit of a challenge. It's just doing it fast, that, you know.
Yeah. You're sitting here just doing it at your own speed, and you don't have anyone hanging over you. It's more fun.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
What are you doing?
That's what I mean. I'm hanging over you like this. And
Yep. And I just refine, and I'm sure I've got some measuring skills that need to be fixed here. Like, I really see that this is so low compared to that. So I'll be playing around. This definitely leans down. There's all sorts of little things I'll do to change this a bit. But I want you to know that you can change it. So you don't have to be too
you
concerned.
don't have to trash it.
Right,
I have one
exactly.
student that will get like 3/4 of the way through and she goes, this is no good. And she
Oh.
throws it in the trash, and I like have heart attacks.
Oh.
I'm like, get that out of there.
And I want this, like, this is just really annoying because it really does go down more. So, like I say, I'll play with it. I'll move it around. I'll play with the values and shapes and sizes. Okay.
Yeah, that is totally awesome.
So that just gives you an idea of the possibilities of white on black.
Sure does. As we're used to working on a light background, and we put the dark and the colors on. So you really have to think in reverse.
You do. You have to go totally backwards. And I see a lot of people color things in when they should be, because it makes you work backwards. So when you should be leaving the paper, they actually color it in.
They color it in.
Yeah. So it just takes a little practice.
Takes practice.
And
Okay,
as you
so
can see,
when
I'll bring-
this is done, Susan will give us a picture, and we'll put it up on the website and on the Facebook page. You guys will get a chance to see the finished product, which, if you think this looks good, once you see the finished product.
Yeah, be able to slow down and really move things around where they belong. A lot of people don't like to demo because
time
you don't
constraints,
complete it.
sure.
And well, a lot of times too, there's people don't understand our process, so there's a little ego that gets crushed, when
That's true.
when
That's
you're
true.
drawing
They don't know that this is just part of the process.
That's right.
It's not the finished product.
And as you can see, the more I sit, and if I went rapidly, when I slow down, all my measuring really starts
Come together.
a lot more. Yeah.
Okay. So I know that you have a waiting list, but you do accept students, correct? You can go on your waiting list?
You can get on my waiting list,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So how do they do that, young
You
lady?
go to www.susankneeland.com and you can go to my contact page. The website is going to be under revision probably for the next 6 months, but I'll keep it open as I'm revising it.
There you go.
Much like this.
Much like this.
Keep it
It's a
open
work
when I'm
in
revising
process.
it. Yep. And so that's about it, Julie.
Okay, my darling.
No.
Thank you once again for an exceptionally good job.
Thank
We
you
love
very much.
You are very welcome, sweetheart.